Okay, welcome back to the final episode of building and running the Optima re-release. So if you've been following along, you'll know, but if not, we have got to just over rolling chassis stage. So we have steering servo fitted, chassis is completely built up, motor is fitted, pinion, gearbox all done. I will give this another wipe and we're going to install the electrics today. We're going to do that now, and then we are going to spray up the body. So off camera, I have cut out and prepped the body. So I've masked out where I want my panel lines to be, put the screen masks in, and I've painted the louvers black with a paint pen. First time using the Poscas, I'm hoping it will give us the effect I want. So this main part is going to be blue. We're going to spray this blue. Should get that and then backed with white tonight. And then if we get it dry in time, we might peel back and do the pearl white, which is where this is. So I've used a combination of, this is flexible masking tape, used for going around curves because I didn't want perfectly straight lines. I wanted to be able to move it, and then liquid mask. I was going to use liquid mask all over, but I'm not yet confident enough cutting the liquid mask to get shapes. I need some practice in doing that, and this is not the body shell I wanted to be doing that with. So we'll finish the prep of that. We'll do this. I've also downloaded the SkyRC app, so we can just have a look at that. I'll do some screen recording of the phone just as we set it up initially. I'm going to get, if I can find them in here, the FuriaX RC instructions, just so that we can make sure we do everything as it should be. So calibration. So we'll do the calibration sequence as well. So that'll be that. So let's give this a quick wipe. We've got the Kyosho double-sided tape. I've got some scissors somewhere down here. I'm sure I have. There they are. We'll give this deck another quick wipe down with some 70% IPA. Nice safe cleaning solution for most things. I've got some electronics cleaner as well, but this kind of my go-to degreaser. It's fairly safe on most things. And we just want to make sure that we get good, clean, grippy install. So the plan is going to be, if you've seen, we've already tested that this works. We did a quick setup with it. So I'm going to mount the ESC here this way, where the instructions say the receiver should go. And then I'm probably going to mount the receiver. I do want to use the antenna, so I'm probably going to mount the receiver something like this. Nice and close, steering goes in there. We've got plenty of space on this, so we will probably curl this. In fact, we will curl this. And then this way I've got the closest one here is the furthest one here, so we should get the neatest install. So that is the plan for the electronics. Got a battery to test it. The battery is not fully charged, so we're not going to get full oomph, but it should be enough for what we need to do. Now, when we look at the shape of the body, I'm being a little bit conservative here, but when we look at the shape of the body, I'm trying to get this at the highest point, which it should be. That's good. Power cable we'll do in a minute. right now, before we put anything else on, I'm going to wrap this. And to do that, I need a lighter. Caveat, if you are going to do this yourself, be very careful and use a lighter. So I'm not using a lighter, I'm going to use a small blowtorch. I would, unless you are very comfortable knowing how much heat to apply, I would not recommend using a small blowtorch. So what we do is we wrap the wire and then very gently just warm it. I'm not using the hot part of the blowtorch at all. I'm just warming it. You can see it. I can touch it. It's not. It's like waft. It's the same as you'd use probably for doing heat shrink or shrink wrap. Right. Wait for that to cool down. And then there we go. A lovely coiled wire, which makes just everything a little bit neater. That's our install. Right. We'll turn the car around. Calibration. Connect the ESC to the battery and motor. Make sure the ESC is off. It is off. There is no lights. Turn on the transmitter. Done. That's on Optima. Long press the power button of the ESC until you hear a beep, then release. The purple LED lights on, entering calibration mode. Okay. That was a beep. Purple light is on. Move the throttle to full brake and hold it until you... No. Pull the throttle to full throttle and hold it until you hear one beep. Okay. Hear 3 beeps indicating the neutral position is action is done. After calibrating keys, LED will flash blue slowly and the system will automatically enter standby mode. It is flashing blue slowly. Wow. Okay. That's quick. Now we're going to have a look at the app. So I am going to go to screen record on my phone. Start recording. I'm going to see my button presses as well. It is connected. I can see it. ESC settings. Forward brake reserve. Start mode punch is on smooth. Drag brake force I'm going to put at 20%. See how that goes. Max brake force. I don't want it 100%. Let's try 75. Max reverse force. I definitely only want 50. Cut off voltage auto, cut off temperature, motor poles 4 pole, which is BSC output 7.4 volts. Save. back. And we want to set some endpoints, so we're just oversteering a little bit, so we need to go to travel, steering, right, let's go down to 95, that'll do, and then left, we'll go down to 95 again. So what I want is I want the wheels to move all the way until, so you see the servos moving there at the end, but the wheels aren't. So I probably need to go down to, let's go to 90. There we go. And so to match, I want to bring both down to 90. So both endpoints are now set at 90%. We are good to go. Calibrated, set endpoints, electronics mounted. Next, it's external running. Actually, that might go through the strap. That's how I'm going to do. Sorry, distracted, side crest. That's how I'm going to manage that. So I think we've got a really nice, neat install there. Everything's within the model of the bounds of the model. That should sit nice and flush down when we're doing. Could even potentially just run that strap around there to hold the wires down low. That, really neat install, really happy with that. Really happy with how the model has come together. Really, really like that. And with everything, including the battery mounted, really nice. What we're going to be using today, probably going to be using this. I've got a couple of airbrushes I use normally. I've got Hyder and Steinbeck, really, really good for closing work. I do flame, that's what I use for my flames. It's a really beautiful brush. I've got an old Sparmax 040. And if I'm doing bigger bodies, I've got a Gilleri pistol brush. We probably don't need the Gilleri today. I don't think we're going to mix that much up. I do need, though, fill my water container up and Hobbynox thinners. I like my paints thin when I'm airbrushing. I run, well, for Hobbynox, I run about 30 psi, and I like running fairly thin mix, which means multiple coats. And that probably comes from the hobby modeler in me. As you can see, there's a bunch of hobby model paints there. Airbrushing with fine detail hobby models, you don't want thick or high pressure because you're working quite close up, so you want quite low pressure, otherwise you get lots of spider webbing. So it's just what I'm used to. Other people I know, I used to talk to one of the airbrushers, one of the guys that does airbrushing a lot at RC Complex. I know he runs a lot higher pressures, but I think he's more kind of automotive background, and so is used to running kind of higher pressures for that thicker paint, that higher coverage. So certainly don't think there's anything wrong with either. He certainly gets amazing results. But yeah, if you are thinking about getting into airbrushing, even if it is just for RC, even if it is just for RC, sorry, I got distracted then I would, like, if you can afford it, Harder and Steinbeck, any of their brushes are amazing. If not, anything from a good reputable brand. I have mixed opinions about the really cheap brushes. I've got a couple of mates who've got them and get on fine with them. I've also seen horror stories where you just end up spending more time looking after the brush than you do actually painting, and then you don't know whether it's you or the brush. If you get something like a Hyder and Steinbeck Infinity or their Evolution, it's not the brush. So it's down to your paint mix, your pressure settings, the way you're doing it. So it just, for me, it removes one of those other things from the equation. So far, the lines look crisp. Now for the most important ones. Okay, not bad, not bad. Couple of bits where, because of the way I was pulling the masking off, I think we didn't get a clean line. I am happy with that.